Hey guys, Oscar and Suni here with another episode of Parenting on Mission. Hey, in today's episode, we're going to talk about something, Suni, that I know a lot of parents struggle with, and that is overcompensating. Today we're going to talk about the dangers of overcompensating. But before we get into it, Suni, tell them about our parenting master classes. Plural, guys.
Classes. Hello, everybody. So we have Parenting on Mission Masterclass that is coming up. It is an opportunity to learn practical guidelines and strategies in helping to make us more effective in our parenting and our journey and our parenting journey. Who should all attend? All ages, all stages of parenting, all ages of your children, or even your age, or all stages of your parenting journey. Those considering being parents, I want to be a parent, those who have biological parents, or even those of us who are bonus parents, as well as us even having parents with children that are much older. Also, non-biological parents and caregivers of children are also invited. And guess what? Tickets are only starting at $25.
$25.
$25.
Inexpensive, shall I say? I was going to say cheap, but I don't like the word cheap. Inexpensive.
Mindful of your budget. How about that?
Yeah.
Yes, we're mindful of your budget. You can register online or at the door. So you may be thinking, where at the door could I register? Well, we have one parenting class that will be at the Pool of Life Community Church. Whoop whoop. That's at 17111 Keith Harrell Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77084. Now that class is a 2-day class on August the 29th from 7 to 10 p.m. And then on the 30th, we're going to continue on the 30th from 8:30 to 5 p.m. Now, if that doesn't fit your schedule.
And that's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah, 7 p.m.
Just to be clear, not 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay, 7 p.m. I'm sorry. Thank you, baby. 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then on the 30th, which is that Saturday, it will be from 8:30 in the morning to 5 p.m. Now, if that doesn't fit your schedule, we also have a class that will be held. There will be 9 sessions, actually, at Champions Forest Baptist Church. And that's going to be at 15555 Stubner Airline Road, Houston, Texas, 77069. Now that's going to start on August the 27th through October the 22nd, and that's going to be on Wednesday nights from 6:45 p.m. to 8 p.m. So that's only going to be an hour and 15 minutes, and it'll be 9 sessions. Again, that's 9 sessions. So the first one, 2-day, the Pool of Life Community Church. Then we have 9 sessions for an hour and 15 minutes, and that's going to be at Champions Forest Baptist Church. You can register at parentingonmission.com. Again, that's parentingonmission.com. You can register there or at the door.
All right, so let's get into today's topic. And today's topic is the dangers of parenting overcompensating.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and what is parenting overcompensation, and why do parents overcompensate? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think overcompensating as parents, a lot of times it has to do with, well, I'll start with, I was going to have this conversation while we were out on the beaches of Mexico. And the conversation came up, and we thought, well, this would be a great topic. And I think that a lot of times, I was telling him about when I started teaching very early on in my career, I went to a training with Ruby Payne. And she was talking about how parents parent, and as educators, how we sit back and think like, hey, why does parent making excuses for the child's behavior? Well, it's really not them making an excuse. Oftentimes, when we think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he talks about first level, food, clothing, shelter. Second level is going to be safety. When as a parent, I'm not able to provide food, clothing, or shelter the way that I think I should, or I'm not providing safety because of trauma, past experiences, or my own past experiences or traumas, or those things weren't provided for me, I want to make it better for my child.
Right.
And so that a lot of times that's why I would say that would be what overcompensation in parenting would be.
So if a parent feels like they're not taking care of basic needs, they will maybe overcompensate in another area. One
Or they're
thought
perceived.
One thought that I had was like a really good analogy is, you know, how you drive and then you turn into a lane and maybe a car is there, and then you overcorrect.
Yes.
And then you almost basically have a wreck, trying to avoid a wreck.
Or cause other wrecks.
Or cause another wreck. I mean, that's kind of what overcompensation looks like. You know, you're driving along and you hit a bump and then you overcompensate, and that actually has a negative impact, as Suni was stating, right?
Yeah.
We're overcompensating, we're overcorrecting in many cases, and parents trying to correct or overcorrect from a mistake or a perceived mistake that they feel like they've made in their child's life, right?
Yeah.
Overcorrecting. You know, one other thing is parents, when we feel like we have failed our child in a certain way, and it could be many facets of parenting, we feel the need to correct that. And sometimes we spend all of our lives trying to correct something that we perceived that we made a mistake on back in our children's earlier years.
Right.
And no, we have to realize that, you know, we just need to correct. We don't need to overcorrect or overcompensate.
And I just wrote down, because, you know, this 50 brain, I start forgetting stuff, okay, y'all? So bear with me.
Yeah,
so
you're getting up there. Don't let the hair dye fool you.
We bring it out our hair dye?
I got some too. So.
Don't be messy, baby. Don't be messy. You're too cute for that. I think sometimes, too, we feel like we've been failed in our childhood, too.
Okay.
So sometimes we are overcorrect. I like overcorrect more than overcompensate, as you brought it up. You know what I mean? Because, okay, I feel like, you know, I was failed as a child. So I overcorrect with my children, so my children don't have the same experience or the same story.
Right.
And so then I overcorrect. And it doesn't mean that you can still, I think, we have to sit back and rationally think sometimes, right? That, we don't have to do anything. We can choose to make a choice to sit back and think, well, what was the good that came? Think of the outcome of some of the things we've experienced. We may not have liked the journey, but the outcome may have been good. Not meaning that I don't want my child to have a better journey, but definitely doesn't mean that I take away any of the obstacles that happen in life, because those are the things that make us stronger.
That's correct. Well, let's talk about some of the dangers, guys, when we overcompensate or overcorrect, as Suni has said here. Is entitlement.
Yep.
You know, sometimes now your kid, just because you're overcompensating, buying the latest Jordans, or, you know, now your kid is maybe, like Suni said, maybe we didn't eat the best food. So now you feel like you got to overcompensate and buy your kid the going out and eat every time. So now your child is becoming entitled. The expectation is, I'm going to wear the flyest gear. I'm going to eat the best of the best, right? I mean, that's a form of entitlement. So now they're starting to expect certain things from you as their parent, which they should expect certain things, but just certain normal things, I would say.
Right. Well, I think that even in, so if I'm overcompensating, using your example, so I'm overcompensating in, we're going to eat out all the time. Now then I have to think about, and it sounds good.
Right.
Because I want my child to, do better, have better, right?
Right.
But then you think about, now what's going to happen when they leave my house? What's going to happen if they never learn how to cook? What if their budget doesn't allow them to be able to do that?
Right.
Am I going to keep that same thing up for them when they turn 35, 40?
I say keep that same energy.
Am I going to keep that same? But I never even taught my child to have that energy.
Exactly.
So now my child is not equipped to keep that same energy.
Right.
And it's not cute when they're 45 and I'm still trying to take it.
Still overcompensating.
I'm still paying for them to eat.
Right.
No, you got to eat for you got to go out there and fish and eat for yourself.
It's not good.
No, it's not good at all. I think too, it hinders their growth and development.
Okay.
Like even mentally. Like if I overcompensate all the time, if they have a concern, they're sad. Now I'm constantly overcompensating, overcorrecting to make sure they're always happy.
Oh, come here, baby.
I like it.
Well, that's fine, but I mean, can they be self-sufficient?
Right. Well, then the thing
Also.
is, will somebody always be there to try to make them happy?
Right.
If life all about always being happy?
No,
Absolutely
it's
not.
Right.
So now I haven't prepared my child to be sad,
For
to
life.
be upset.
All the emotions that come with
I'm not even learning how to deal with their emotions.
Right.
Right? Or even being, overly sad. Now you're dealing with depression because they've never learned how to deal with, they have coping skills and develop coping skills because they hadn't been taught.
Right.
Friendships, socially. You can't be, if they don't like you, then you don't have to be their friend. You just be by yourself. Is that realistic?
No, because you got to work with people.
Exactly.
You got to interact with people.
The teacher make them mad. Now you at the school because we're overcorrecting. Then now they're lacking academically. So when we think about overcompensation, think about what is that going to look like down the road as an adult for our children or even for us. Because at the age when I can't do it anymore, there's no one there to be doing it. And then also thinking about how is it going to benefit that child in their growth and development to be a productive citizen, to be a parent themselves, to be in a relationship. How does that impact them?
Well, and then we're also teaching our kids how to manipulate us. Right? When we're overcompensating, mom or dad are going to do this for me. And they've always done this for me, and they feel guilty because they didn't do this. See, your kids are smart. Our children are very smart people, and you guys know that. So our kids figured out that you're overcorrecting and overcompensating, and they know how to hit that button so that they can get what they want because they know you feel guilty about not giving them something in the past or not being able to do something in the past, right? So now we got to live in the nicest of the nicest of homes, right? The parents got to struggle and suffer because maybe they felt like you said, maybe the parents didn't feel like they grew up in the best environment, right? So now they got to go and do all of these things, and now the child is just becoming a manipulative person.
Well, think about this. Or I'm manipulating between both parents. So now mom is going to overcompensate in this area. Right. Daddy overcompensates in this area.
That's true.
So now I'm going to go to daddy for this because he's going to overcorrect because he's not here maybe. He's working all the time. Right? Yeah. And then mama, on the other hand, because, she's always frustrated because she's taking care of the kids because daddy is always working.
Go that way with
then I'm gonna go over here for her for these things. So now we wonder why we not getting along and ain't happy in this marriage.
Right.
Because we're being pitted against each other by our children. Now, children are gonna do what children do.
Well, they're just gonna go to the path of least resistance.
Yeah. So we're not trying to make them out to be the bad guy.
Everybody does that, actually. Yeah.
Exactly. So now we've talked about the dangers.
Well, let's talk about just briefly. The parent-child dynamic.
Okay.
See, because a lot of times parents don't realize that you're the leader in your home, right? And you have to maintain that structure, that leadership. Somebody has to be the leader in the home. And it can't be your child. The moment you start letting your child lead your house, we got problems.
Well, not only that, Oscar, I think too, like you said, I know I'm the lead. I don't know, or I may not be aware, but I always feel like I have to make my child happy. I think some parents do that. I think they realize maybe I am a leader in my home. I'm the mama, I'm the daddy.
Well, that's different than being a leader.
Right. Well, that is true. That is true. That is a good point.
That's what we have to realize. Dad and mom doesn't
the title
automatically equate to leadership. So parents must take their role as leader. They must take it.
So, like, quickly, what would that be? How would that be?
Well, a leader is the one who is setting the tone.
Gotcha.
The children need to follow the parents, not lead the parents.
But I think too, and in that leadership role, understanding that it's not going to always be popular.
No.
Everybody's not going to like it. And so when you're talking about the dangers and of overcorrecting, also realizing that it's not a popularity contest. They are not going to like it. They're not going to feel good about it. You know, they're going to be unhappy. They're going to be sad. And guess what? It's okay.
It's okay. They'll love you tomorrow.
And if they don't, it's still okay. I'm not in this parenting game to be liked by you, because I understand that sometimes you're not going to like the choices I make. But you're going to respect.
And let's be honest. Many times we don't like what they're doing.
Hello?
I mean, let's just be real.
Come on now. Sometimes I don't like what you're doing. I don't like how you acting. With the grades, you didn't clean your room.
Right.
We don't like some things. That's a part of being a family.
Right.
That's a part of the dynamics.
I mean, I don't love you.
Exactly.
I just don't. I don't like you at this moment.
But I don't like that.
Okay.
I done told you 595 times to clean the kitchen.
Right.
But it is a part of it, and I don't. So as parents, I encourage you as parents to realize you're not going to be liked.
Yeah.
They're not going to like it. They're not going to enjoy it. They're not going to jump up and down about it. But it is what has been established, because it is what is best for you.
All right. Let's talk about some solutions. So.
You want to give me your solutions? I'll give mine. What you think?
Well, let's just start off. We're going to parent from the present and the future.
For what it's going to look like.
Right.
Gotcha.
We're not focusing on what we did in the past and all of that. You know, that's where the overcompensation or the overcorrection comes in. We're going to focus on, what are we doing now and what are we doing in the future.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think on the point about your past, I wrote it down again because y'all know my memory.
Okay.
The past, I think that in order to move to the present and future, you have to start with the past. If there's a traumatic event or something that's happened in your child's life, in your life, if there was a time in your life that was a struggle or life was lifing, it is okay to forgive yourself first. Forgive yourself, even if the intention was bad. I didn't have the words to do it. I didn't have the tools to be better. I didn't know any better. Whatever the situation was for you all to have been in that situation, first forgive yourself. And then ask your children to forgive you. If it's something with your own parents, forgive your parents. It's not about them more so than it's about you being able to have that healing and that journey to start healing that path. With your own children, asking them to forgive you. Hey, it sounds like this. Mama didn't know any better. Mama didn't know how to do any better.
Our daddy didn't know.
Our daddy. I can't speak from daddy perspective.
Right.
But for mama, right? Mama or daddy didn't know. Grandma didn't know any better. Wherever you are, whatever stage, whatever role you're playing in that child's life, and you are the primary caregiver, and you are the parent, you're parenting that child, ask them, I didn't know any better. Please forgive me. I did not understand. And forgive me. And you forgive yourself. That's the first step. And you keep moving.
Yeah, we're not going to keep living in the past and being having a child manipulating us for something that we didn't even know. We now that we know better, what do they say? You can do better. And that's all we can focus on, guys.
I would say after that, Oscar, is to establish new boundaries.
Okay.
You establish the new boundaries, and then you communicate what those are and be consistent.
Consistency.
So I didn't know any better. I
I
apologize. Now I know better, because now I'm communicating you. This is what we're going to do moving forward.
Right.
And then when it happens again, if something happens, then you can say, no, that's not what we established.
It's probably going to be hard because now we're in these patterns and these behaviors, and we're used to doing it a certain way. But the parent, that's where leadership comes into play. Because leadership is about also busting up bad cycles, or we see something going the wrong way, the leader has to step in. Okay, we got to interrupt this pattern and we got to get us back on the right path.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Become a skilled parent. How about that?
Yep.
Because it's not enough to keep saying, oh, well, I apologize. Well, if you're a parent, get your parenting skills up.
Uh-oh.
Right?
The parenting game.
I mean, we do training on everything else. On your job, we get training. At school, we go to school for 4 or 5 years, pay $100,000 or more to get training.
Yep.
Now, how much money are you spending for your parenting education? Getting them parenting skills up. $25. That's all we charging. We ain't charging $100. Maybe that's the problem. We should charge $100,000.
No, I don't do people like that. But I think too now, and I want to highlight this, is that when we're talking about solutions, we're also thinking about you may have adult children. You have grown, old and grown.
50 plus.
40 plus, 30 plus, whatever it is. You may have adult children. Yeah. And you realize that after watching this video, like, dang, that's me. That's us.
It's okay.
It's okay. This is not about judgment. This is not about saying you were a bad parent. No, we don't know. Sometimes we don't know. But like Oscar said, when we know better, we do better. So you can establish those new boundaries. Forgive yourself. I messed up. I didn't know any better, whatever the case may be. Now, Junebug, do you forgive me? Will you please forgive me? And then, but this is what we're going to do from here on out.
And they may not forgive you.
They may not. And if they don't, fine. But just because they don't forgive you does not mean that you don't establish new boundaries for them, because it's for the betterment of your child.
Well, see, that's why it's important to start these things. The earlier, the better, guys, because then we don't have to deal with all of this abrasiveness and the brick walls that come up as you get older, the scabs and all of that, right? We don't have to deal with that. So that's why the earlier we can implement these things is way better. You know, one other last thing I would like to say is making a correction and a corrective action. You know, a correction is, like you say, I apologize and you know, Daddy gonna do better.
Daddy gonna do better.
Well, how can Dad or Mom do better if we haven't gone to the root cause of why we're doing something in the first place? Like, why are we doing this? So we may need to go back and do what we call corrective action with the TIVE versus correction. Corrective action is where we really go back and really figure out the root causes of why me as a parent, why am I behaving this way?
Right.
Why am I doing this? And I have to put in the work, and maybe I don't know, and I have to put in the work to get educated, to get some more skills on parenting, or the areas that I'm struggling in. Use your YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just for entertainment, right? There's a lot of education, our videos, some other videos out there. It's a lot of information that we as parents can use to really boost up our parenting skills. So, Suni, yes. I'm glad that we talked about this topic, because I know it's a lot of parents that deal with this specific issue of overcompensating for their perceived mistakes. It may not even be a mistake.
Right.
But more importantly, we gave them some solutions and some recommendations on how to address this problem. So, do you have a parenting point for this week?
Yes, I do.
All right, what is it?
All right, so here's a parenting point. Guys, remember that even in overcompensating or overcorrecting, it comes from a place of love. It's not because we don't love our children, we don't care about our children. It's none of that. A lot of times it just comes from a place of, I feel like I want to make it better. But if we uncheck it and we don't check this situation and understand and recognize that this is going to be a problem for our children later in life, it's going to lead to our children having some hindrances in their growth. And that growth can be academically, emotionally, spiritually, socially, in a lot of instances, even physically, like Oscar mentioned, eating out all the time. That could be a physical hindrance in our children's lives. Yeah. So as we think about why we are overcorrecting, as Oscar said, having corrective actions, think about how it's going to impact our children and check it. Stop, make some changes so that our children can continue to grow, to thrive, to be the people they're chosen and they're meant to be.
Thank you, Suni.
You're welcome, Oscar.
So, hey, guys, don't forget about our upcoming Parenting Masterclass. Suni already told you about it. The tickets are $25 a person. You can register online at parentingonmission.com, or you're free to come at the door and pay as well. Again, she told you it's going to be at the Pool of Life Church on 8/29 from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and then on 8/30 meaning August the 30th, starting at 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then we're going to also have sessions at Champions Forest Baptist Church, which is at 15555 Stubner Airline. And that is going to be August 27th through October 22nd, each Wednesday from 6:45 p.m. to 8 p.m. Just to go back and give you the address for the Pool of Life is 17111 Keith Harrow Boulevard. Okay, guys? So we do thank you for watching this latest episode of Parenting on Mission. We ask that you subscribe, like, and share, and leave a comment about this topic that we talked about today. Maybe you have some recommendations that you would like to leave a comment on. Guys, remember, parenting is a lot easier when it's done on mission. Talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.